Hello, Anisha. This is David. I hope it's okay if I answer via video. It's easier for me, and I can provide, sort of more full answers. And this is actually the first time I've looked at your questions, so it's my first earnest, honest reactions. Here are the questions. You have been an active part of various media journalism startups. In today's digital arena, do you believe that startups have the potential to be the future of the journalism media industry? Could they grow on par with the current market leaders? Um, So I would quibble a little bit with the way it's phrased in this. Do they have the potential to be the future for the journalism media industry? I think they're certainly part of the future. I don't think that startups are going to disappear or stop. I think the more that technology becomes a driving factor in how people consume information, then technology startups will be a part of the future. Do I think they are the future? I don't think any one thing is the future. I don't know if that's really a fair statement to make. Um, could they grow on par with current market leaders? Some of them. I mean, the whole thing of a startup is, it's high risk, high reward. So it's sort of, there's a very good potential that some of the media startups will grow and become market leaders or institutions themselves, and there's also a possibility that they will putter out. But again, even if the majority of them putter out, which is what is likely, this idea of startups will not, right? I think that will continue. Uh, Question number 2. You were the founder of Spotus and now associated with Circa. Could you tell me something about their business models, setup, sources of finance, etc.? Sure. So Spotus was a nonprofit. It was founded in 2008, and it was funded originally by the Knight Foundation through the Knight News Challenge. And as a nonprofit, it's still going. It's owned by American Public Media. When people would donate money, we would take 10%. That was one of the main ways that we received money. There were other ways that we sort of got money as well, being a nonprofit, whether it was sponsorships or donations or things like that, but I'll save that for another time. Circa at the moment does not have a revenue stream. It's completely angel funded. It is funded by individuals. If you go to circa/about, cir.ca/about, you scroll down, you can see the list of investors. In the future, we obviously will have a revenue stream. One of the things, there's a lot of different possibilities there. I think one of the easiest to grok at the moment is what's sometimes called social advertising or native advertising. 3, talking about business models. According to you, which of the business models could be the future and why? Currently, we see a lot of startups based on crowdsourcing, media grants, and not-for-profit organization backing. So I guess you're asking me which of these I think is the future and why. We see a lot of startups based on crowdsourcing. I think maybe you mean crowdfunding, which is what Spotus kind of was about, this idea of people giving small amounts of money, because crowdsourcing is not a business model. Crowdfunding is a business model. Crowdsourcing is more like a mechanism by which work can get done. So it does lower the cost, right, because you're distributing the workload with crowdsourcing, but it itself does not bring in revenue, right? You either have to advertise against the people that are, helping with the crowdsourcing, or do crowdfunding, things like that. Media grants and not-for-profit organization backing. I mean, again, the question of which one of these business models could be the future and why, I would say yes, which is to say both. I think crowdfunding is low-hanging fruit that can be tried by a lot more different organizations than I think will be. And actually, it's not that far. It's not that different from not-for-profit organization backing. The main difference, right? If you look at, we'll take ProPublica, which is funded mainly by the Sandler family. They give $10 million a year, I believe. You have to check me on that, but the main difference between that and crowdfunding is just the number of donors, right? What's the difference between the Sandler family giving $10 million and a million Smith families giving $10? It's, so it's sort of different sides of the same coin. It's, whether it's for profit or not profit, that's about people giving money. It's just how many and how much. 4, lastly, do you believe that credibility is an issue for media startups? If yes, then how do you think they can overcome it? I do think it is a perceived issue, right? I mean, that's in many respects just about brand, right? Like, why do people trust certain news organizations? It's because of a brand that that they hone over time. And I'm not even saying that that's unearned. I mean, those brands are earned, right? When CNN gets something wrong during that, I guess what was 2 weeks ago, in Boston, that has a real big problem for them, because that hurts their brand. It hurts their credibility. And newer organizations have to really work to earn that credibility. Credibility is hard fought and easily lost. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of people who, after last week, or I guess it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now, just don't trust CNN. They've lost that credibility in terms of breaking news. So yeah, I mean, I think credibility is very important. It is hard for startups. It's hard for anybody, any individual who works in journalism, anything. Credibility is really important. I would also like to know how I can quote you. You can quote me as David Cohn, C-O-H-N, the Director of News for Circa. Hope all is well.